Dash, which represents digital cash, gives you security, it gives you anonymity, and speed. Comparing that to other currencies is what we do in this video as I talk with Dash's own Tao Satoshi. Today, life is happening in an exciting way, and one of the best ways to experience life is through video and getting a chance to see it. We're doing that right now, and I've got a special treat for those of you that have heard of Dash and the Dash Nation. Joining me right now from his offices up in Canada is Tao Satoshi. Tao, thanks for being with us today.
Very good to be here. Thank you.
Really glad to see you on screen, and what an honor to have you with us today. Been watching your videos, how you help people with Dash, how they can start using it and learn about the Dash Nation. So we got a bunch of questions we want to ask you, but first, start by telling us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got involved in Dash.
Okay, well, I started out as, obviously my job is in the casino business, and I have a background in customer service, so I deal with people on a day-to-day basis. And as far as finding out about Dash, it was actually finding out about Bitcoin first. Bitcoin's usually like the gateway to all these cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that's right.
So when I found out about Bitcoin through a VPN chat room. So I was looking into VPNs. I wanted to know what would be a good VPN so I could get American Netflix here in Canada. And there's a VPN chat room, and they said, you should use this service because they take Bitcoin. And I was like, okay, wait a minute, what's Bitcoin? So then I fell down the rabbit hole, looked into Bitcoin, and then I saw the crew behind Dash was very organized, and I wanted to be a part of that. I really believed in Evan Duffield's vision of privacy and wanting to have a transactional digital cash for the world to use. So I threw all my investment into that Dash, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, well, very good. Well, now, for those that are saying, okay, I've heard of Dash, I don't know what it is, we know that it's digital cash. Tell us a little bit about it from the big picture point of view, what Dash is and how people are using that practically now.
Okay, well, as digital cash is trying to be like I think basically what it says, like cash is it's private and it's instant. So if I was to send you, if you were right in front of me and I was going to give you a $20 bill, that's instant. I give it to you, you have it, I don't have it anymore. And that's what we're trying to do in the digital space. We're trying to create a digital medium where you can give it to somebody privately and it's something that you can give to somebody instantly. And we've achieved that. And it's just a matter of getting it out there into the world to use.
Yeah, and you say it's private. That's something that's important. A lot of people think, well, I don't have to worry about I don't have anything to hide, so I don't have to do that. Of course, those people that say that, I say, really, you have nothing to hide? Then what was that bank account number and your password, please, that you could give me? I think you do have something to hide, and that's integral to us. Keeping certain matters private is very important for us as human beings. And so tell us how Dash works with that and how it compares to other digital coins that are out there in the area of privacy.
Okay, well, the big daddy, Bitcoin, is the first one that started, and it's very secure. It has that, it's very secure, but the privacy is not so good because the transactions can be tracked online. So if you know the address and you can find out where this money went to the next address, it's potential to track everybody's transactions all the way from the beginning. So that wasn't good. And also it's not very instant. It has a backlog of transactions. When you send your money to somebody else, you can go in what's called a mempool. And this mempool is going bigger and bigger because they have not, it's kind of technical for people that might not know, but there's a block size, so there's only a certain amount of transactions that can go in each block. So right now, Bitcoin's very slow, and Dash works to try to combat that by having what's called instant send. It has the master nodes that lock the transaction. So once again, it's probably a little bit technical for people that don't know, but that's how Dash solves the problems that Bitcoin has.
Yeah, I like that idea. Instant send. For those of you that are watching this and wondering, okay, what is this Dash? It sounds intriguing. Pay attention to the instant send. You can do a lot of research on that on your own that really does exactly what it's talking about. But I think there are two advantages we have with Dash over some other coins that are also very good. But I particularly like Dash. I'd like you to help us on this. The instant send, the idea is it's much faster to send a transaction, and the cost is less to do that. And then also, it's very private when we do it. Tell us a little bit about those three unique features and how Dash is different than some other currencies.
Okay, so like I said, they definitely work on trying to be the digital cash. So when I'm sending you money, I want you to get it quickly, and I want you to get it privately. So I want you to have it right away. So with Bitcoin, if I was going to send it to you, it might take a couple of hours to get their first confirmation on it. And with Dash, I can send it to you, and it gets confirmed right away, and it will be in your account right away. So you don't have to worry about any double spends or anything like that. And in this business with double spend, it could mean that I send you something, and then I can turn around and include a higher fee on my next transaction and send that very same money to somebody else, or send it back to my account. So, and that's not a very good thing when you're working in business and you want to have, if you're going to sell me something and I'm going to be sending you money and I have a potential to send it somewhere else, you're not going to be happy with that. So with Dash, with the instant send, the master knows not lock the transaction, so I don't have that opportunity to do that again. So that's one thing that's very important with the instant send. And the privacy is also for people in countries where they have repressive governments, and they're going to want to know where your money is going at all times. You can't do this, you can't do that. It's good for them because they can have that privacy. When you mix in the wallet and then you send to somebody, nobody can track it. So that's good too. So that's something that Dash has. I find that Dash has, it's not like they're better than other currencies in everything that they do. It's that they offer the total package in everything that they do. So they offer the privacy, which other coins offer too, and they're competing against other coins. They offer the instant send, which other people offer too, but they don't offer privacy. They have investment opportunities with the master nodes that other people offer too. So it's more of a well-rounded package of the digital cash that Dash offers, and that's the strength.
Yeah, I think so. I'm seeing that myself as I'm getting into it now and seeing what's available. I really like that. And yet there's also yet another benefit that we have with it that you started before we were doing the recording here. You were sharing with me how you got started with the Dash Nation, the support, the people that are there, the community that's helping you. And I understand you got the idea of that through the Free State Project there in New Hampshire. Tell us a little bit about how the Dash Nation started and what it offers to those that want to get involved.
Yeah, it's more of a philosophy with Dash. When people come in, like we're hoping for mass adoption, and it's great to have a good technology with mass adoption, like how I started off the show talking about the technology. But there's also the people aspect, like you said. Like if you join a community and you're not treated well, and you're saying, okay, well, you don't know anything about it, you just get out of here. You know what I mean? And that's the way a lot of it's very elitist in the cryptocurrency space, and with Dash, I don't find that at all. Like when I came and I asked my questions, I got answers right away, and it was already, the base was built there. But as I have a background in customer service with the casino, I started the Dash Nation, and one of the inspirations for Dash Nation was the Free State Project. And that's a project up in New Hampshire that's saying if they can get enough people there, they can start to influence the change in the government. And I thought that was good. They hope they are kind of libertarian, and that's where I lean to. And the other influence, so we have that one, and the other influence was Red Sox Nation, which is completely different from anything. It's a sports team, the Boston Red Sox in Boston, Massachusetts. The Boston Red Sox, and their fan base is one of the most passionate in all of baseball, and all of sport, really. Like I see them when they come to the Rogers Center in Toronto. So I want to have a group of people that are libertarian. They believe in the technology and they believe in the reasons for the technology, but they're also passionate like these Red Sox fans. So it's kind of an amalgamation of both. And I think having that movement and that people that want to move Dash forward is very important. So that's why I started the Dash Nation movement.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you as a member of that who's getting involved with it. I really appreciate it. There's a lot of feedback and support. So it's like you got all this combination of great monetary currency here, digital cash. It's going to be private. It's going to be fast. It's going to be secure. And you've got a nation of people around you that is growing as more people jump on board to find out how you can get help. When you got a question, that there's no such thing as a dumb question. I think we need that kind of comfortable environment, and it's there. Well, those that would like to get involved with Dash Nation, how would they go about finding out more about this?
Okay, well, there's a website. It's called Dash Nation Slack, and you joined there too. So I welcome you to Dash Nation. And to find out the invite link, I guess the easiest way is to go to dashnation.com/chat. And on that website, you will find an invite link to Dash Nation Slack. And if you join there, you can ask whatever questions you would like about Dash, and you'll be answered when somebody becomes available. No question's too stupid or too dumb. The only question that's dumb is the one that's not asked. So people there are friendly. We appreciate that everybody's going to come in if we want mass adoption. So we'll help you out.
Yeah, very good. Well, I think that's been my experience also. People are there. Well, now I want to kind of circle back a little bit here and say, okay, somebody's watching this and they think, okay, you know what I really want to do? I want to get into Dash. I want to get some Dash coin. I want to get started with this. Take us on a beginning, gentlemen, this is a football kind of explanation. What would someone do to get out there to get their first Dash coin, get involved with it, and then later to spend that? What steps would you recommend for them?
Okay, well, like I mentioned before the show, the cryptocurrency space right now is kind of like a bubble, and once you're inside this bubble, everything is great. You have the Dash, you can send to somebody else, you can send to whenever you want. You can start it up, you can accept it as a business, but the problem is to get into that bubble. So right now, that's the thing that the cryptocurrency space as a whole has to try to make easier for people, like to be able to buy with credit card or to be able to go into your debit card and send somewhere and get instantly Dash. Right now, we don't have that. So I guess the best way for you to get involved is either to earn Dash by going to Dash Nation Slack and offering your services, or you could actually try to acquire Dash by going through Bitcoin first. At the moment, it would be the easiest way to go to one of the Bitcoin exchanges and then send your Bitcoin to Poloniex. And then Poloniex is an altcoin exchange, and Dash is very prevalent there.
Right, and please spell that for us for those that might not be native English speakers. How do you spell that? Very carefully.
I'm aware of that because you got Kurt to spell a bunch of stuff, so I'm aware that I got to
spell. That's right. You saw what you did with Kurt. David Robbins, a great guy. And hi, Kurt, you're probably watching this now.
Okay, yeah, so it's Poloniex. Poloniex.
Very good. Yeah, so they can go there. Then what? What's the next step?
Well, I recommend that they download a Dash wallet to their home desktop or laptop. It's you go to dash.org/wallets, and that way you'll find a wallet for your own system, whether it's a Mac or Windows. So you can go there and then take the Dash that you have in Poloniex and send it to your home wallet. I don't recommend keeping any kind of cryptocurrency on exchanges.
Yeah, agreed. That's an important point for those of you watching this. What he just said is very important. Tao knows what he's talking about. Tell us why you would not want to keep massive amounts of your currency there, or even significant size on an exchange.
Okay, well, right now it's the Wild West. It's an unregulated market right now. So we've had exchanges in the past. The biggest one was Mt. Gox, and they just simply went offline. They just vanished in one day, and then all the coins that were on there from everybody are just gone. Nobody knows where they went.
Yep.
So you don't want to keep your coins on exchange, because here's the thing with cryptocurrency: if you don't control the private keys of your address, which you would on your local wallet, you don't control your Dash. So you want to make sure you control those keys, and by doing that, you send your Dash to your personal wallet at home.
Exactly. Now, if we were reading this in a book, this is where you would want to underline it in yellow highlight, what he just said. Very important that you have different ways that you keep your currency, whether it's Dash or Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever it might be. You have some in a temporary holding place, like on your smartphone, in what we call a wallet. It's usually an app that holds those coins. You put them in there. And then what you'll want to do is to send that off to a hardware wallet. It's an extra little thing. Sometimes they have them in different forms. Sometimes they're a little box in there. Sometimes they have a nice little view on there. Sometimes they look like a USB, one of those USB drives. You put that in there and you can transfer it over there, and now it is secure. I mean, it's as secure as it can be. Of course, nothing is 100% secure wherever it is. I mean, if you put cash in a tomato can in the ground, it's secure until somebody else finds out where you hid that tomato can in the ground, and they saw you with the shovel. They get a shovel when you're not there, dig it up, and they could take it. So, but using those hardware wallets, that'd be a good term to search. And what Tao just said, very important. Again, if we were reading this in a book, you would want to yellow highlight that and put a star right there on that. So, and then once we've transferred that over, then how would we access those funds, Tao, if we want to then spend on something? I want to do some business with you, and you say, well, Terry, I'll do this for you for, let's say, 2 Dash coins. How would I then get that to you?
Okay, I'm not really too familiar with the hardware wallets, so I won't go through the motions of that. But if you do have it on your home on your Dash wallet on a computer, you want to encrypt that computer. You want to encrypt that wallet. So what you do is go into the settings. There's a setting to encrypt the wallet, so you encrypt it. So what you're going to do, Terry, is you would send me an address, and once you've completed your task for me, and I was satisfied with the task, I would just go to the Send tab on the wallet, and I would put your address in. I would say the amount of Dash, and then I would click Send. And then at that point, the wallet's going to ask me for my password. So that way nobody else could spend my Dash. If they came to my wallet and saw my balance, they wouldn't be able to spend the Dash. So I put my password in, and hopefully I'll click Instant Send because you want to get it right away. And there's a checkbox. You check Instant Send, and I send it right to you. You get it within 2 seconds.
Excellent. 2 seconds. And then what is the fee on that? How would that be determined?
Right now it's per transaction, per input. But if you're just one input, you're looking at only 0.001 Dash. So it's about 7 cents, I guess, or maybe a little bit less. I'm not sure how it works out, but 0.001. So maybe it's 0.7 Dash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very nice. So in other words, very reasonable, a whole lot more than if we use, say, a credit card, because we know seeing charges there 3 to 5% or more is not unusual.
Yes, and there was a tweet recently by a very well-known Bitcoin community member named Roger Ver, and he said he used his first Dash Pay payment. He sent $100,000 worth of Dash, and it only cost him 0.3 cents, and it was confirmed right away. And he was very impressed with the speed of the Dash network.
Yeah, that's important. I know Roger, he's a good buddy. And Roger, hello, if you're watching this now, I'm based over there in Tokyo, and a wonderful guy that has helped many, many people understand what digital currency is about and how to use it. And so that would be good. And by the way, going back to what you said about the hardware wallet, think of it like, I like to use metaphors that might be from the real world. Your hardware wallet would be you're storing it on, say, a USB drive. You've got the information there. You would just transfer it from that back over to your temporary wallet on your phone. So you have that on the phone, then I could be able to exchange with you. Much like, let's go back to my idea of the tomato can in the ground. You got a pile of cash in your tomato can in the ground. You would reach in there and take out a portion of that cash from the tomato can in the ground, seal it up, put it back in the ground, cover it up, etc. And then I would take that, I'd put it into my pocket, probably in my jeans, walk over to the place where you and I are going to meet. Then I'd reach in, pull out the right amount of cash, and give it to you. That's kind of what we're doing. You just wouldn't keep all of your cash in your pockets and run around with it all day long. That's not a smart reason to do it.
Exactly. So for the people that don't know anything about cryptocurrency, like that's basically what Dash is trying to do. You know, anything you can do with physical cash, we want you to be able to do it with digital cash. But there's also some advantages where I can't throw a wad of $20 bills halfway across the planet. but I can. But see, I'm in Niagara Falls, and you're in where is it?
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando. So I can send you, and it's just like digital cash. I send it to you quickly, and I send it to you privately. So there's some disadvantages too, like you need to have an internet connection, but basically anything that you can do with real cash, we want you to be able to do with digital cash. And that's where Dash is doing. Yeah.
Well, now there's a lot of things that are exciting right now, what we see happening in the Dash Nation and the Dash organization, the community around the world that is using Dash. But I also know, in talking with our mutual friend, Amanda B. Johnson, and with Kurt Robinson, another friend that we have, and there's a lot going on. And for those that haven't seen those videos yet, but they're anticipating getting involved, they look at it, there's even more good that is planned for the future. Is there anything that I would imagine you've got some you can share, some you can't share? What about those things you can share of what new developments are being worked on and we might expect sometime in the future?
Okay, well, the biggest thing coming up is Dash's killer app. It's called Evolution. So what we want to do is try to make, well, like I mentioned to you, right now it's kind of complicated when you're using digital currency for somebody who's not technically inclined. Like I'm what you call a dummy. So it took me a while to figure out how to use it because I don't have a technical background. So it took me a while to figure out how to use the digital currency wallets. But in the future, there's going to be an app called Evolution. It's going to make it like a PayPal-like interface, and it's going to be easy to use as PayPal is. So basically, I'm going to put in Terry Brock, and I send you Terry Brock. I send you the money, and it's just like you're using a regular banking app. And to do that, they're going to have what's called a decentralized API. And that's going to be just like a regular PayPal API, only it's going to be hosted by the masternodes, which is a decentralized network of servers that Dash has. And these are incentivized servers that people can start up with 1,000 Dash. So if you have 1,000 Dash, you can start up your own masternode, and you can be a part of hosting this decentralized API. And so it's going to make it easier. If people like see the front end, they're just going to see basically like a banking setup, like a PayPal, right? But in the back end, it's going to be completely decentralized, so people won't even realize they're using crypto. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it sounds good. I remember hearing about that and thinking this really looks good, because I use PayPal right now as an entrepreneur myself and receive and send payments that way. People various places around the world, and there's that nasty fee that's in there that does start eating into it, about 3% or 5% depending on where it is. I like PayPal. They've done a good job. I applaud them for what they're doing, but the ability to do that with Dash, so that we're paying what you said, the 0.007 or whatever the number is, much smaller transaction fee is going to be good. And another thing that Amanda said they're working on right now, we're looking at in the future sometime, would be for recurring payments. And we don't know exactly when, but I understand they're working on that. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening there?
Well, yeah, that's one thing that you mentioned before I go on with that, is that it's true. When you think of PayPal, you think of high fees. So yeah, this is going to be like PayPal without the high fees. That's something, yeah, because that's something that's good to clarify. Because definitely, when you have the ease of use of PayPal with the low fees and the instant transactions, it really adds up to a good package. Oh,
absolutely. I remember, as a matter of fact, just a little while ago, I did a series of programs for a client over in Australia. And so I did it with Australia. Well, they sent a wire transfer, and it was always a shock. You know, they were going to send this amount. Then, of course, there's the exchange rate reduction, and then there's the fees you got. And so you're down here going, hello, is there anything left? You know, it's very little there after all that. So it's going to be nice when we see Dash do it. We encourage the people that are on the development team on that and cheer them on. Say, hurry up, guys, quicker. Okay, we love it. Looking forward to it.
Yes, and Dash has what's called a Decentralized Treasury also. And when the value of Dash is going up, they can afford to put more money towards their development. And one of the recent hires they hired 6 more C++ developers, which in this industry is very rare to find, people that have C++ and also have a background in crypto. So actually having that on board is going to speed up the development a lot. So we look forward to having something that we'll be able to test at least the next few months.
Yeah, that's good. And by the way, those of you watching this, think about what he just said. I want to put a spotlight on that. This is going to be very helpful in many ways. Many people are saying, oh, gee, how am I going to get money? I need to make money. Well, come up to speed on crypto, study it, get to know it through the Dash Nation. You've got a bunch of people that are willing to help you and help you learn about this, and C++. If you know that real well and you know cryptocurrency, you have suddenly elevated your level of knowledge and therefore your position and opportunity for your career in the future. Get out there and go for that. Would be good. Well, what other developments do you see happening with Dash? If we could get you to get that crystal ball of yours and rub it really well, Tao, kind of good things that you could see someday in the future that we might have through Dash and other digital currencies.
Okay, well, the biggest thing right now that I try to do myself, and from my perspective, is to build the Dash Nation, build the community, get more people involved, more talents involved, and the more people that are involved and in the movement can push us forward. Like, I'll give a couple of examples. I was on Twitter probably about a year ago, and I was talking to this gentleman called the Desert Lynx. That's his handle, and his real name is Joel Valenzuela. And he was a writer for Cointelegraph. And he got involved with the Dash Nation, and now he's part of the Dash Force, and he writes articles about Dash every day. So he's using his talent to help propel Dash forward. And there's another lady called Stella Bell. I think her name is Leah Stevens. And she was big on Steemit. And she's very creative, and she's very good at rallying people around her also. And she found out about Dash, and she's been just going headlong into Dash as well, So this is what I try to do. I try to develop the talent. And having you on board is going to help us a lot too, doing your interviews, and you're very good at public speaking and stuff like that. So having you on board is going to be great. So these things is what I'm trying to do. So, and after that, I say the biggest challenge is the fiat gateways, like remember I mentioned that we were in a bubble. So I think the hardest part is to try to get people into that bubble. And so breaking that friction to try to get in is the next biggest thing that Dash has to work on. All cryptocurrencies have to work on, but yeah. I'm talking about Dash specifically. And I think once we do that and we lower that barrier of entry, And it's going to be a lot easier for people to get in, and you're going to see exponential growth. And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Tao, you are doing a marvelous job, sir, and it's just wonderful to be part of the community. I'm glad I found out about it. I give a big thank you to Amanda B. Johnson and to Kurt David Robinson, who were very instrumental in helping me to get involved and to learn about the benefits of it. And then, Tao, getting a chance. This is the first time you and I have connected and talking to each other. We've seen each other's videos. It's nice to do that. And that Dash Nation really helps. And those of you watching this, think about it. You've got the opportunity here to get in on really the ground floor of a wonderful community, a wonderful way of living, of doing business, in a community that believes largely in free market ideas of exchanging value for value, non-aggression principle, helping others in a very voluntarist kind of way. This is a community where you want to get involved. So, Tao, before we let you go, please once again tell us, how can someone find out more information, get involved, and say, hey, I want to know more about what's going on with Dash and I want to get involved?
Okay, well, the main website for Dash is called dash.org. It's dash.org, and that's going to have the most information about Dash of anywhere. And you might want to follow the Dash the Dash on Twitter. It's at DashPay, DASHPAY. And if you want, you can also follow me on Twitter. I'm Cash Alternative, CASHALTERNATIVE. Cash Alternative. And also my YouTube channel is called Cash Alternative TV. Same spelling, but with TV at the end.
I like it. Wonderful. And by the way, if you haven't seen Cash Alternative TV, you are in for a treat when you see that. Get over there. You'll get a lot of good information delivered in a fun way. And Tao's style is very good on that. So, Tao, thank you so much for joining us today. It is an honor to have you with us, sir.
You're welcome. I was very happy to be here. I'm one of your biggest fans.
Well, thank you very much. And for those of you that are joining us, thank you for being here. This is an opportunity for you in many different ways to tie in with a wonderful community worldwide of people who are supporting, who are very helpful. And remember, no dumb questions. A way for you to expand your business. I'm particularly interested as an entrepreneur. Hey, I'm a professional speaker and a syndicated columnist. And so I'm always looking for ways I can help my clients to serve them more through speaking, through the coaching that I do, things like that. And Dash gives me another alternative to help them out. So we can send payments back and forth. We can learn more about that. Dash is a community you want to look into. And of course, if you have questions where I can help, let me know. I'm over at terrybrock.com. That's Terry, and Brock is spelled the right way, BROCK, just like Sir Isaac Brock there in Canada. Now, I had to put that in there just to mention. I don't think I've ever mentioned Sir Isaac Brock, but for the Canadians that know that and a few Americans that do too, cheer on for Sir Isaac Brock, something like that.
Yeah, I'm right next to Brock University, so I know. And you actually educated me on his role in history. I didn't know before we came on.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's my job, helping educate your role in history and all that. Well, hey, we're having all kinds of fun, and we appreciate those of you that are watching us being here with us. I'm Terry Brock. Thank you, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.